And we are live here on Reality Alert. I'm Max Gieser, and it's another squiddy day here. Back in December, I'm live with Mackenzie Bellows, player 451. Mackenzie, how are you doing?
I am good, Max. I'm excited to be here. Thank you for having me. I love talking about this show, so I am prepared and ready to go.
Awesome. I saw you were doing a little fist pumping today. Thank you. I'm from New Jersey. Very proud of my heritage. So thank you. It was like a tribute to my history and my culture. So thank you very much.
Gorgeous. Love to make you feel comfortable also.
Yes, yes. I see some rafters behind you. People are going to be curious about your background today. Do you want to, for audio listeners, Mackenzie, just describe where you are to everyone.
I am currently levitating. No, I'm
Uh,
kidding. I am in my barn. I'm from Michigan. It's really cold outside, and I have some noisy dogs in my house. So there's a bit of rafters going on. I have some lights. The heater might kick on, but it's quieter in here than it would be in my house. So yeah, it's fun. It's warmer than outside, and we're doing the thing.
we are doing the thing. Now, Mackenzie, here's something about you on Squid Game. Some people, by your name and your number, they're listening to this interview. They might be going, "Who the fuck is Mackenzie or Player 451?" Just to be honest, you weren't in the final five. How would you describe your presence on the show to these people?
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a lot of things that happen off camera. And to be so honest, I think if they played 456 individuals saying their backstory, I would turn it off immediately because that is incredibly boring. So
I
I
almost did. So yeah.
I ended up I was tied for top 12, but when you see a blonde girl crying on the screen, it is most likely me. I didn't really get shown a lot in terms of, my strategy or anything like that. I was the crier of the season. I cried the entire time. And yeah, I mean, I tried my best to keep my hair looking good. And so if you see some wavy blonde crying, it's certainly me.
Yeah, the hair did look great. Amazing tears, incredible. Was it cathartic? The crying, at least.
It was so real. It was like pulled from the depths of my soul. I'm not even
Oh
kidding. Going
wow.
into that dorm, I was not a crier and I was fully thinking I was going to be entering my villain era. So when I was there just crying my eyes out and I had, you can hear the little robo cams like, they would
Yeah.
all just write to me. And I was like, all right, so here we go. I hope that they show a little bit of my intelligence, but they didn't. So 451, the crier.
Was it all RoboCams, or did they have people with handheld cams at all?
Every once in a while they would come out with a drone and they would tell us to not look at it, but that's
Mhm.
impossible when you have ADHD. All you can do is look at a drone. So after someone tells you not to,
They're
but
cool too, so it's like, what's happening?
yeah, and you get a little breeze because we weren't outside, we were inside a building in a building. So it was weird, but
Maybe
they
I
did
have
have
undiagnosed ADD because I'm like, I would look at I'm like, oh, it's cool.
all of us. Like, oh my gosh, look at that. Like, I wonder how much it
Yeah.
costs. Who's driving it? But no, they did have some cameramen come out every once in a while. But to be so fair, I didn't want anything to do with that because we started almost like targeting the people that were getting the cameramen out and, focused on the show. So yeah, they did every once in a while.
Yeah. So that's why you guys wanted to get the twins out, the twinfluencers.
They did pull them out for catch, the big cameras. So they had, a lot of different views of them during catch. And then, I love Zoe and Kurt, but they did do it a lot for Zoe and Kurt as well.
I get, well, yeah, they were like the two biggest characters until they were eliminated. Um,
Yeah, yep.
I have a question real quick before we get into your whole timeline on the show. I keep forgetting to ask everyone this. How awkward is it when somebody dies and their ink pack goes off and then you have to wait for them to like film them die and then either walk off or be carried off?
So honestly, it happened pretty fast. After somebody got eliminated, whether it was just a random one in the dorm or, even with like Mark's situation, it was really quick. So they would get squibbed and then they would get pulled out like almost immediately. You didn't get to say bye because at one point people were hugging after their friends were getting eliminated, and then they would have ink all over their shirts and suits, and they didn't have a ton of them to just be giving out. They had to make them on the spot if you dropped food on it or whatever. So it was pretty quick, honestly. It wasn't too awkward. A lot of the times for me, it was like emotional because I became very close with a lot of those people very quickly. Yeah, just crazy madness. Couldn't even give him a hug.
Yeah. So, did you appear in the first batch of episodes at all?
Yeah.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, did you have a
It was me crying
confessional? Oh, it's
in
just
the
you crying. Okay. Yeah.
I did film one of those confessionals. They didn't end up using it. I think that I have a sob story, you know. I think a lot of the people there kind of did, and I think that they had enough at that point where they were like,
Yeah.
all right, we're not going to add another one.
You got gum stuck in your hair, and then you had to cut it and wait for it to grow out before the show started. It was hard.
No, it was just a lot of like my childhood and things like that. But also, I had pink eye in both of my eyes by the time I got out of the dorm. So I think that's another reason why they maybe didn't use me in my
Did other
costume.
people have pink eye?
No, the lore behind it is crazy. I got it not early on. I would say maybe like mid to towards the end of the way through, but I got crop dusted pretty bad. And
Yeah.
it resulted in dual pink eye. So
Pink eye is so contagious. It doesn't make any sense that no one else got it.
yeah, I think once I started, like, my eyes started getting crusty and actually like leaking, they were like, all right, we got to keep this girl a little bit sequestered away from everyone. So towards the end, you can see me like a little bit closer with Trinity, which he wasn't really scared of it, but people were hugging me in slides and ladders, and that was kind of when it started getting worse.
Oh
So I
my
was shocked
God.
no one else got it, but maybe I'll have to ask the people who sat next to me on the way home on the plane.
What game did you play in the pentathlon?
I did juggy, which was the kicking one. It was pretty quick. We did it in one try, which was nice, but I did hacky sack all the time outside in high school. So that one was kind of an easy one for me.
Oh, you're one of the hacky sack people.
Yeah, we always did
Outside
those little
in the
circles.
quad. Okay. So your pentathlon was just like easy breezy. You didn't have like the Zoe moment, you know?
No, it was not easy breezy. We had Jarrell, and I'm so bad with numbers, but he was one of the 5 that was up there for elimination. You know, and we had to vote each way. It took him, I think that we determined like 70 something tries to get the ball in the cup. And
He had trouble in ball in a cup, the easy one.
The ball, well, it honestly was really shallow. I mean, I didn't try it, so obviously I don't know how difficult or easy it was, but
No, it was
he was
easy.
shaking. He was shaking so bad.
It was so easy because because there were 2 teams that they had to go down to 4. And what was the game that they removed? They removed ball in a cup because it was the easiest.
You're right. Sorry, Jarrell. I love you.
Sorry,
But
Jarrell. It was the easiest. They didn't remove House of Cards, the hardest one. They removed the easiest one.
no, and by the time we had gotten done with Ball and Cup, the other team was already at House of Cards, and we were like, dude, we better just kiss this money goodbye right now because holy F. And everyone's like, Jarrell, it's okay, it's okay. And you can kind of see me at the end with my hands on my hips, and I'm like, it's not okay. Like we're all getting effed right now. Like it's over. But
Yeah.
we came through and it worked out.
What was your strategy for catch, and where did you end up in line?
You know, my strategy for catch, I didn't really have one. I'm not even going to lie to you right now because at that point, there were so many other people. My strategy the whole time was to never be first, never be last, never be the loudest, and never be the quietest. And I didn't want to volunteer. So in my line, I was in the pink line. So I was in line with Mark and Ryan, and that whole thing happened. So I didn't really feel like it was my place to try to like interject and like throw in like, okay, let's just act like that didn't happen and go on with a different strategy. But at the same time, it was just so like jarring the whole situation that I was like, I need to be closer to the front, but I don't want to be right in front. And I don't know, overall, like I played softball growing up. I thought I was going to be able to throw it really well and catch it really well. I didn't have to catch it, but my throw was freaking awful. It was so bad.
But you survived.
I did survive, yeah. And I think that, once elimination started happening in catch, it was like one after the other after the other. And it started happening so fast that it kind of like shakes you up a little bit. And when you have cameras and all of these people on the bleachers watching you, like I'm not one to really want the center of attention. I don't like it. I get really nervous and my stomach starts feeling gross and I just don't like it. So after that happened with Mark and Julie, I was like, now I have to go. Are you serious? Because they pulled them out quick. So I didn't even have time to like recollect myself. And not only that, but the person closest to me, like distance wise, was Natalie. And at that point, like we kind of had some beef going on between her and our alliance. So I wasn't going to throw it to her, and I chose Emily to throw it to. And thank God she caught it by her fingertips, but it was the worst throw ever.
I have a question about. I've been thinking about this. I have a sound bite. I recorded this during catch. Let me know if you can fill me in about something that Kurt said.
Man, we're eating squirrel tonight.
Man, we're eating squirrel tonight. Why did he say that? Were you guys eating squirrel in the evening at Squid Game the Challenge?
I think that squirrel might have ended up being better than whatever we were eating for dinner that night, but he was saying it because Justin had just caught the ball. Justin ended up actually getting eliminated with me, but he was the funniest dude literally ever. So Kurt was saying that kind of as like a nod to Justin because he's a little bit of like, he has like an accent and he's just like kind of like country, So the fact that they threw that in there with no context was crazy, but he was saying it to Justin.
Oh, okay. Did you have any involvement in the Russian nesting doll saga, or did you stay out of it because you didn't want to volunteer for anything?
So this is when I wish that they would have shown a little bit more of my strategic
Hold on,
side.
your audio has cut out for me. 1 sec. Just for me, though. Hold on. 1 sec.
Should I start singing? Dancing?
I can hear you. Continue.
I almost started Christmas caroling. So yeah, so I mean, before anything was said about this doll, it just ended up in the dorm and it starts hysteria. And there are people who are big gamblers and want it and want to be the first ones to take it. And to be honest, I didn't want to take it, but I was very interested in what was inside of it. So, a few people take it here and there and we're just kind of like, whatever. But Greg did ask me if I wanted it at one point, and I was like, please, Greg, don't do this to me right now. No. And he just walked away. But at the point when Isaiah took it, we had a very strong alliance, and there were still a lot of us left at that point. So there were a little talks here and there about him wanting to take it. And I'm like, our strategy as an alliance is to fly under the radar. We don't want people to necessarily know that we're a really strong alliance, but we also don't want to be making risky decisions, and because it kind of risks it for all of us. So when Isaiah took the doll, Daryl and I kind of had a little chat with him, and we were like, this might put a target on your back. And after the whole cake shebang, I was sitting on the stairs the whole entire time, and I'm listening to what people are saying, like in the middle of this line to get cake. And a lot of people were very suspicious about it. They were like, oh, he's playing the nice guy game, blah, blah, blah. So you can hear me saying to him, you have to be very apologetic if you're going to give this to someone else, which you have to, but to keep up with this nice guy persona that you're playing at this point. So he's like, I can't remember what Natalie's number was. It 775? Was that her number?
87, 70. I don't know. Natalie, yes. I know who you're talking about. Yeah.
So Isaiah shakes the doll next to my head, and I can hear that there's more than one left. And I'm like, dude, this is going to be something good, I think. And it was just my intuition. Obviously, I didn't know for sure what was going to be in that freaking doll. But when he gave it to her, my heart literally almost fell out of my ass, because I was sitting upstairs with Natalie, and so were 2 other of our alliance members. And he looks at Natalie and he says, I have to give this to you because I have no other friends left here. And she looks at us in the alliance and she's like, your friends are like right there. So the whole thing just kind of went sideways, and I'm like, shit, now she gets to eliminate someone. And I thought I was gone. I'm not even gonna lie. I thought that she was gonna go in the boiler room, think barely anything about it, and eliminate me, but she didn't. I think that she knew she would be targeted after making a power move like that at that point. But that was my involvement with the Russian nesting doll. And then at one point, Shelly did ask me, she was having a difficult time figuring out who to give it to. And Matt had taken it off of the podium at one point because he wanted it. So we did have a little bit of a discussion about maybe she should just give it to him because he did want it at one point or another. So it was kind of his fate. But I don't know. It's bad. I was like a background character, but still chirping.
You said that Isaiah was at that time playing a good guy persona. Does that mean that you don't think that he was actually a good guy?
I'm not going to say that I don't think he's a good guy. I do think that he's a good guy. I just think that when you're in a situation where you are high stress, you're hungry, you're dirty, people are sick around you, it's very stressful, and you never know how you're going to react to different things or what you're going to do. But his goal at one point wasn't necessarily to win the entire thing. It was more to promote his music. And he said if he won the money, he was going to buy a Corvette and things like that. So in my head, I'm like, if he's trying to get screen time, that's okay. But I don't want to be in an alliance with someone who's just trying to get screen time. And I knew he was a power player and making big decisions. So it's not necessarily that I thought he wasn't a good guy. It was just at that point, him giving it to Natalie was not him being nice to her. It was him fully trying to like eliminate her, hoping that it was something. So that's kind of the, background with that a little bit.
Yeah. What was Mingle like for you? Let's get into it.
Yeah, we're getting into all of it. Mingle, I was very excited to play Mingle. I didn't think that we were going to do it because I'm like, what an incredible liability this game is. And no matter what the rules are, like it is going to get physical at one point or another. So we had an alliance going. We did know at that point what the first number was going to be because talk gets around so fast in the dorm. And when Marcus, tells his people, they have their own people and gets around. So going into it, we were like, we're sticking together. We are not going to deviate from our core alliance. And it worked. And at some point, you can kind of see on the podium, there's this little group that is kind of turning their backs to everybody around them. And that was us because we were like, you guys are nuts. We want nothing to do with this chaos. We're going to stay over here and stick to our group. Of course, here and there, we had to pull other people in, which was stressful. But I mean, we had Alex in there, Claire, and these were people that like we hadn't really talked to up until this point. So Claire, I don't know, she's a data analyst. That's her job day to day. And she figured out if there's this many people left in the game, she was keeping track in her head how many we were with and how many were getting eliminated. Then these numbers are divisible and like these are the only options that it could be. So we had plans for the variations of what they could call next, which was cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she was just big braining it. And when we got pulled to like go eat dinner in the middle of it, like she was still calculating everything out in her head so that there
was a break in the middle of Mingle and you guys still protested and they gave you a break?
Yeah. So, okay. We had to get bathroom breaks because at some point.
And bathroom breaks and you protested?
They don't tell you when you're going to be able to get a potty break. So it could be hours and hours and hours, or it could be like in another 20 minutes. But I think based on everybody's mics and based on all of the cameras, they were probably like, we need to pull these people out before they start physically assaulting one another.
Yeah.
We were all pissed. So we just wanted it to be done though. So when they pulled us to go eat, I think there was a shift change in production. So the runners, it went from the daytime ones to the nighttime ones because they do 12-hour shifts. So yeah, we were all fucking pissed off. Sorry, excuse me.
You can
Freaking
curse.
pissed
You can
off.
curse.
Oh,
It's fine.
good. And nobody really ate, but people were like throwing up because it's a spinning platform. There's flashing lights. At one point, I'm pretty sure put fog in there. The music's so freaking loud you can't even hear yourself. It's like madness. So the adrenaline being up here, and then you're eating, you crash, and then you have to go back in there and continue that shit. Like, it was crazy. So people were ripping their mics off, their squib packs off. We're not playing anymore. Like, this is stupid. The head honcho would come out in the middle and they're like, guys, we all signed, you guys all signed the same contract. Like, we're playing this game. Don't be violent with one another. These are the rules in case you need to hear them again. And, you know, with Mingle, the way that they wanted us to avoid pushing, shoving, slamming hands in doors, whatever, which the doors were slow close, but they wanted us to form our groups before we ran to the doors. Who was going to do that? No one was.
Yeah, that's not gonna, it's gonna end at the doors. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, once that went out the window, like, you're booking it to a door, you're doing everything that you can to get in there, and it is what it is. I mean, it's $4.56 million, you know? So, thankfully, we only had a couple situations, but the point, the Viking stuff, I want to talk about that a little. You see me, like, what it looks like is that I'm crying because Isaiah called Damien a Viking. So before this,
You were really crying of happiness that he called him a Viking?
there was so much other shit that was said that I was like, there's no way that this is all they put. I was genuinely shook to my core when I found out, like, that was the cut of it. So Damien and I had chatted a lot. We were kind of friends going into Mingle, and he's a really good guy, but he looks terrifying. And he owns like an axe throwing company, and like, he's just so like badass. And I knew that, but Claire was doing all of our math, and Isaiah was kind of like our bodyguard at that point. He was opening and closing the door, which is difficult. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that my little body would be able to do anything like that. I was just booking it in there. But Claire was very close with Damien because her sister played the games also, and her sister was very close with Damien as well.
Oh.
So Claire is very upset at this point because Damien, like, I know that he was just trying to get in our room because he wasn't really in our alliance, but the way that it all went down, it was like, and I don't want to say verbatim, but I know that motherfucker was thrown out, and like Game of Thrones bitch was thrown out, and Viking. So the Viking comment was like the most minuscule one I think that they could show for copyright reasons, but
Wait, were people calling him Game of Thrones bitch?
Yes. So I'm like, oh shit.
Wait, sorry. Sincerely?
He was calling him that, not me.
But he was sincerely calling him Game of Thrones bitch as like a real insult.
I'm pretty sure. Because
sorry,
at this point,
sorry.
I'm just shook. And yeah,
That's so stupid. Funny. That's why I'm laughing, people. It's not nice to call people insults. That's just such a silly insult. Like, what is that? That's not even clever. That's not even good.
It was just such high octane that it was like, what the fuck is going on right now? So I'm looking at Claire, and she's like, her friend just went home. Of course she's upset. She's doing our numbers though. So I'm like trying to console her, and finally, like, he's going on and on and on. And like, Damien's already going home. All the doors are shut. Like, why are you still going on about this? So
because he's trying to think of an actually good insult to get on camera. He's like, oh no, Game of Thrones, that's bad. It's copyrighted. I got to think of something non-copyrighted. Oh, Viking! Viking! It's not copyrighted. You could use that.
People were calling Damien the Viking, though, as like his nickname. It wasn't ever like a mean thing, but the shit before it was what was setting me up. I can listen to it until a point when finally I'm like, obviously he doesn't know that Claire and Damien were friends. Like, this has to stop. So you see me crying and saying like, oh, the Viking, like, I don't know. And then Isaiah did fully look me in the eyes and he was like, what? Like, he was genuinely confused, but we had, at that point, there's so much lore behind it. But I was pissed. I'm like, he's already leaving. Why are you throwing all of this shit in his face? Like, let's just stop. But that was the beginning of the end for me and Isaiah. Let's say that.
Yeah. So when did the final mingle? So you guys get down to right before 2, and you all go. And this was it scripted or was it not when you all held hands in
It
Mingle?
was not scripted. At that point, I went from being sad and scared to pissed and like ready to like keep going. Like I was being fueled by all of the shit going on. And so some people in my alliance like didn't hold hands with everybody. I think that's why we're not really in the shot. But I think Matt was the one that kind of started with the, you know, we're not playing anymore. At one point, someone was like, let's just vote to split the money. And I'm like, y'all, if this thing goes off, book it to a room or you're done. I fully thought that they were going to start squibbing people
Split
that were
the money.
not playing. Yeah, I'm like, we're not writing the effing check, dude. Like, we gotta get this.
Yeah, Netflix is gonna be like, oh yeah, you ruined our show. We're gonna let you guys split the money and end at episode 4.
Right. So they kind of the one guy, I don't even know what his name is. He's like one of the top like directors. He runs in and is like running around closing the doors, and we're like, what the fuck is going on? And that's when they were like, okay, we're gonna go another round. And we were like, what the fuck? So it starts spinning. Everyone's like, we're not doing this anymore. And I'm just kind of like, what? I'm trying to distance myself from Isaiah because of all the shit that's been happening the whole time. And then they came out with the marbles. And I was like, no effing way that just worked out so perfectly for Netflix. This is insanity.
Sounds a little scripted. That's what my friend Mai told me. Okay.
I think that it from a viewer's perspective, if I wasn't there, I would have thought that it was scripted too. And that's not to say like someone wasn't doing it for screen. Like, I don't know what happened there. I was genuinely about to just book it into a room because I thought that it was the klaxon they were calling it was going to go off and we were going to run. But yeah, come to find out the marbles boxes were the perfect size to be slid into the like little slot of the doors. But no, not scripted. It was absolute madness. And I was laughing, crying, about to throw up, and just over it, sweating. It was a mess.
Who did you face in marbles?
Alex, 408.
I don't know who that is. Am I supposed to know who that is?
No, he didn't get any freaking screen time. And I'm like, what the heck? But he is incredible. I was really glad to be with him because we weren't like best friends ever, right? But he was very level-headed. I knew he wasn't going to like yell at me in a game or get loud or try to cheat, do a mind game or anything like that. So going into it, I mean, I proved in front of everyone that I'm not the best at throwing. And Isaiah was up against Daryl, who I was very, very close with, and he kept me grounded like the entire time. And I knew at that point that Daryl was almost ready to go home. And I knew that he was probably going to like sacrifice himself. So I'm like, Alex, let's play a throwing game. You know, I'm going to draw a line in the sand. Don't cross it. We'll just, whoever gets the most marbles win. If we tie, then we'll go over it later. And one marble made it in, and it was mine. And the whole time, I'm like cheering him on. I'm like, Alex, take a minute, like think about why you're here, take a step back, like opportunity to whoop my ass in this, and he didn't. And thank God for college beer pong. That's all I gotta say, because that's the only reason that marble went in.
I say that every day. Every day I say thank God for college beer pong, you know?
You know, I mean,
invaluable skill in life, you know?
Valuable skills, yeah.
You really do. College, it has to be good for something. How was slides and ladders for you? And do you think you would have had a better chance of surviving if Trinity had stayed your partner instead of Drake?
It's so weird because slides and ladders was easily the most innocent game that I felt it was innocent walking into it. And I was on good terms with everybody that was in the dorm at that point. So I'm like feeling like no one's gonna, try to stab me in the back or give me any advantages or anything like that. But I don't think that I would have made it further with Trinity. When Drake picked Trinity, I knew that it was Will, because Drake and I were like friends, and he was also cool with Trinity because after marbles we were all in like this little office space, so we kind of bonded in there. It really was just because he knew that I was going to be fair and I wasn't going to try to snake him. But I got so many advantages throughout that game, and Drake and I, like, he didn't have to go first on the slide. He didn't have to pick first. And earlier we determined that whoever rolled the dice, if they rolled that number and then ended up landing on a slide, they would pick first because it's like their fate in a way,
Yeah.
And so that's how that was decided. It was fairly easy, but no, I don't think I would have made it further if it was Trinity. I knew, my intuition was like, Trinity is okay. So far, when people are singled out in these situations, they're usually okay. So I was hoping that he wasn't going to have to bet on one like they did in Catch, because walking into that game, I kind of felt like I knew that was my demise. But no, it was a fun game for the most part for me. I didn't really hear all the shit going on with Steven and Perla because my ears were blocked. I was so sick, and I couldn't really see because pink eye. So like I was having the time of my life for the most part.
So things didn't really get personal for you during Slides and Ladders. You were just kind of chilling.
No, I liked Steven and I liked Perla, and the whole time, like, them beefing, I'm like, this is interesting, but also I don't know why this is happening. I'm just confused overall, so I'm not going to interject, but I tried to listen in as best as I could.
That's so funny. Okay, I think I skipped something real quick. Were you there when, I think it was player 410, it was Claire, she had to eliminate Isaiah? Did she bring you to the vending machine? You were there?
Yes.
So were you part of the decision to eliminate him?
Yeah, I'm glad that, because a lot of people are like, why did you choose Mackenzie? So
Hold on, you cut out for a second. Can you start over? Your audio cut out.
can you check for Christmas Carolyn?
No, I can hear you, but it's a little robotic. It's like
How's that?
that's a little better.
Is it still terrible?
Oh, it's better. It's better.
Yay. Okay, gorgeous. Yeah, there were a lot of questions about why I was in the room with Claire. But obviously, I don't know what was told. Is it still bad? You're making face.
Your video, but I can hear it. So I'm trying to hear it. It's not great.
Okay. I don't know what to do. I'm panicking.
No, it's better. I can hear you now.
Okay. So the lore behind all of this started during Mingle because of the situation with Damien and me being in the middle of Isaiah and Claire. So at that point, I think that I knew Claire and I were friends, if that makes any sense. Because Claire and I were very strategic about when we would talk to each other. So if we were passing, to go to the bathroom, we would talk, and we didn't know really like in an alliance. So, when he was choosing a monitor, at that point, he thought that it was going to be a benefit to be a monitor. He would have chosen me or Melissa, which was player 110, because we had been in an alliance the whole time. There was a conversation that I had with Isaiah, and he told me, I'm really sorry for turning my back to you in Mingle, but we are in this together. We've been together since the beginning. Like, I have your back. So when he has this conversation, he gives the patch to Claire, and you can see me, like, I'm kind of shook because now I know he thinks it's going to be something bad. So they have their little conversation between the three of them. I don't know what was said exactly, but what was shown was essentially, and I don't know what he said verbatim, I would have to go back and watch it, was just that he's there for himself and he's not going to continue to protect people throughout the game. And that's fine. But when he tells me that morning that he's going to have my back, and then he says that to Claire, it's like, it was kind of snaky on his part, in my opinion. It was basically him saying, like, you know, I remember what happened during Mingle, but like the whole thing is confusing. But at the end of the day, the way that he was making it sound was directed at me. Like, I'm not protecting Mackenzie anymore, which I didn't need him to protect me during Mingle. However, maybe we made it through without it. I don't know. But the fact that he thought he was carrying me throughout the game kind of pissed me off. And I was like, oh, so now you're attributing everything that I've done up until this point as you protecting me. Like, that's not cool, dude. Especially when I'm telling you about the nesting doll and trying to help you through it also. Like, what the hell? So Claire's talking to me about it, and I was hurt. I was enraged, and she had a 10 coin. So I'm like, it was dumb for him to say that to her, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it was so out of pocket. Yeah.
Netflix needs to release the full conversation because there's so much back and forth with this. But basically, we went in the boiler room and had the conversation again. And I was like, I think that that's the right decision. In my opinion, I feel like he's gunning for me or you. Like, it's you or me here. So, yeah, we ultimately decided that it was his time to go. And we didn't know if that was going to be allowed or not. But production said, yeah, you can do that.
Why wouldn't it be allowed? Oh, because he was a monitor as well.
Yeah. And we didn't know if she was allowed to like eliminate another monitor, but production was like, well, I mean, we never really said that you couldn't. So...
And it's juicy. So yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah, the edit was so funny. It was like you were just kind of there, you know?
Yeah, just for
I was like,
support.
why is someone else there?
No, she tried to pull me for like an hour too. I'm like talking to Zoe.
Yeah, I assumed something happened. It was just the edit. It was like just two girls going to the bathroom together or something. It was like, well, you know, it was like at dinner or something. You know what I'm talking about? I was like, yeah, what's happening?
That was the craziest part is we're having this conversation in the bathroom and they're like, guys, come here in the boiler room. So I leave my water bottle in there and Trinity is looking for me. So he goes to the bathroom and he sees my water bottle just like in the bathroom. And I'm not there. So there was a lot of like hysteria in the dorm. But I think at that moment, Isaiah was doing like an interview while we were in the boiler room because it took forever. It literally took forever. And yeah, when we came out, I was asking production, I'm like, what are we supposed to say to these other players? Because you kept us in there for so long that it's like messing up my game. And they were like, just go out there and say what you have to. So I'm like, oh yeah, like I really had to go to the bathroom. Sorry guys. And they were like, the bathroom door was locked. What do you mean? Like, you're a liar. I'm like, oh shit, you guys will find out in a second. Like,
yeah. And you'll just be fine with it. Nobody cared that Isaiah was eliminated. No,
I didn't realize that other people were
so funny. No one gave a shit.
Same way as me. I know. I thought that he was a very liked person in there. So I was like, am I the only one that's seeing like this back and forth between like hero and villain that's going on? Like, what the hell? So
it's such a relief when that happens in life. I love when I like will finally get up the muster to be like, this person's an asshole. Okay, I'm tired of not saying it. And then everybody will around me be like, you know what? I agree. And I'll go, oh, I'm not insane. I'm not insane.
Yeah, it was validating because I was trying to bite my tongue for so long about the decisions he was making. And I was even trying to tell Melissa at one point, like, I don't necessarily think I want him to be in an alliance with him because he's reckless and his mouth gets him in trouble. It already has a few times. So the fact that it ended because he said something was just hilarious to me. It was like the way it played out, it couldn't have been played out better. It could have been shown on TV better, but in the dorm, I was very satisfied with that outcome, I must say.
Yeah. Well, let's get to an outcome that we weren't satisfied with, your demise. So you were just eliminated in slides and ladders because you didn't make it to the door, right? Am I correct here?
Yeah.
Was that disappointing that you didn't at least get to go down a slide and then just die? Would that have been more fun?
Once it started getting towards the end, Perla had a significant like lead ahead of us. And yes, there's a slide right before the door, but I was fully thinking like, should I just for funsies go down the wrong slide? Like I already
Yeah.
know that like I'm done here. So why don't I just, but I didn't get the opportunity to. I probably would have. Yeah, getting squibbed in the middle of the board was epic because that set was so sick. It's huge and gorgeous, but at the same time, it's like, well, shit. Like we have to actually like lay down and like pretend to die. Otherwise, this is just going to be weird. So
Yeah, that set was so cool. Well, what are your we kind of ended your Squid Game experience. What's next for you in life? What are you up to now? Now that you failed to win, now that you're not a millionaire, now that you're just a regular person again, like the rest of us, playing beer pong, for the rest of our lives.
Yeah, I'm practicing my throwing skills
Yeah.
lately.
Hitting up frat houses, stuff like that.
Yeah, I've been hanging out there. You learn a lot of, life-changing things going
Yeah.
into it.
What not to do, who to avoid.
Yes. No, I mean, before going to Squid Game, I had like just gotten my real estate license. So when I got home, I was able to really focus on that. I was in a relationship and I ended that. So I was busy kind of moving out and, kind of doing a hard reset on my life in general, not to get like deep and sappy.
Wait, did Squid Game end the relationship?
I mean, yeah, in a way. Like,
wait, why? Did you meet somebody on Squid Game? Was it the Twinfluencers?
Oh Lord, no, they were shorter than me. I think.
Oh my God, you're heightist. That's not nice.
I think, I mean, they were also just like they were so cute, but not like hot. Like cute, not hot. If that makes any sense.
So much shade. So much.
I'm
shade.
sorry, and like that would
They have
work.
so many followers, and they're twins.
I thought I was gonna get like fully annihilated by teenage girls after the show dropped for not voting for the one twin. I was scared. But no, I did not meet anybody in there in the hotel. Well, the whole reason that I applied.
You met somebody in the hotel?
No, I didn't meet anyone. It has nothing to do with anyone else. I am not a cheater. I will never be a cheater. But what I have to say is in the hotel, you have so much time to like sit in your thoughts, and the whole reason that I freaking applied for that shit was because he basically told me I wouldn't last 5 minutes in there after we watched season 1 because I made a joke like, should I apply, So
you should have dumped his ass right there. I'm glad you had that time in the hotel. Damn.
I just silently applied and, went through about my life, and when they called me about it, I was like, maybe this is like a sign from God that like it's a haha moment at this guy. So yeah, I made it through all the casting and the whole time there, it just kept replaying in my head. I'm like, he told me that I wouldn't last 5 minutes in there. Like, what the heck, So it just made me realize more of who I am as a person. And at that point, like I hadn't really gone out in the world. I had never been on a plane by myself. I wouldn't even go to like a store by myself because I just felt so like I needed him in a way. So when I finally got away from that and had time to myself and I didn't have to be on my phone and working at the same company as him and doing all of that stuff, it just made me realize like I was not happy in my day-to-day life. And if I'm in a dormitory, disgusting as hell, and I'm happier than I am at home, that's probably not the relationship that I want to spend the rest of my life in.
Yeah,
So,
no, I know I was just joking a lot, but that's like actually legitimately amazing. Good for you. That's like a really nice story. Yeah, no, it's like that's really good. Yeah. You got out of an unhealthy relationship. That's nice. Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah, thanks. So yeah, when I got home, I just hard resetted my life. I have twin siblings that are 1.5 years. So
what? Why aren't they on the show?
Maybe in a few seasons. They're only 1.5 right now, so they would be.
Oh, they're actually. I think they're 1.5 years younger than you. They're only 1.5.
Yeah.
Let's see how they do on Squid Game. Why not?
Squid Games, the child version.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, no. So
have you made social media accounts for them yet? I mean, twinfluencers can start very young.
I'm gonna have to.
You got to bank on this.
Make amends with the British twinfluencers.
Yeah.
So but that was my linkage to feeling so like great with all of the other twins. Like Blake and Bryce,
Oh,
I adored them, and like I could see
but
how
you were like, I'm basically a twin. I have twin siblings, you know.
and they are 24 years younger than me, but that's okay.
Yeah, I'm a twin. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, overall, just I was blessed with a huge social media following, like before the show released. So that was really cool to be able to build up before the release of the show. Just working my little booty off, selling houses, traveling as much as possible, trying to keep my following happy. I do car karaoke videos, so that's my content.
You do car karaoke? I haven't. Sorry, what?
It's okay.
I have to check this out. I haven't. Sorry, I've been really busy doing Squid Game stuff. I have to go.
Okay. And that's the craziest part is I thought I was gonna post like, guys, guess what? This is sick. I was on Squid Game challenge, and they just do not care. They're like, okay, cool, girl. Can you get back in your car and start like singing some divorced dad rock? Like
your content that you made a lot of social media following off is car karaoke videos.
Yeah, that's literally it.
That's awesome.
They do not
So
care about
funny.
anything else.
No. When you try to
But-
switch it up, they don't like it. People do not like change. Nope.
No, they don't. I'm gonna have to make a secret account and try to find someone that looks like me and become a twinfluencer.
Yes. We all
But
should.
overall, all good things have come from Squid Game. You know, I was very scared going into it. I was not confident in myself. I went in probably like one of the lowest mental states that I've been in, and coming out of that and prevailing and like feeling good about myself was incredible. Like I could not have asked for more. That to me is priceless. I didn't win the money, but like winning, learning about myself, incredible. 10 out of 10.
I do like that. It's not very on theme with Squid Game, the
No.
show, but I support it for you personally. You know, I'm happy for you.
Yeah,
But it's off theme.
I thought I was going to go in there, screw everyone over, and I didn't. I think one person, and I don't even know if you can consider that screwing someone over, but it is what it is.
Yeah, you got to pay to play. Well, Mackenzie, this has been a great interview. Been great getting to know you. Where can people find you to watch these car karaoke videos and future twin content?
Yes, I am at Mack Bellows on all social media, so you'll be able to find me there. And yeah, let me know if you guys have any ideas for some twinfluencing videos in the future.
That's great. And for the rest of you, come back in just around 40 minutes. I'll be back with Vanessa Clements from Squid Game, the challenge. Going to be interviewing her. Don't remember her number right now, but she was in the final 5. And I'll also be back later at 4:30 PST today, interviewing Megan from Married at First Sight season 19. So a lot going on at Reality Alert this week. And head to patreon.com/Reality Alert because it's the Reality Alert holiday sale. Ho, ho, ho. Use code HOLIDAY for 20% off all Patreon subscriptions. That's monthly and annual, double off all things we've ever done. It is, and we have free trials, so be sure to check that out. Wouldn't that be great, Mackenzie, if people signed up for Patreon? So much great stuff.
It would be incredible. It would make my day.
I know. Love is Blind Italy starts tomorrow. We're recapping it. Isn't that so exciting? Go to Italy.
I gotta watch that. That's gonna be juicy.
Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty exciting. And be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Reality Alert Podcast. Mackenzie follows us, so you should too.
I do. I do.
We have people say inflammatory things about what was scripted, and then everybody chimes in about it. So you guys should check it out. You guys should check it out.
The tea.
The tea is sizzling right now. I can't keep up with my own comments. It's actually wild. Anyway, we'll be back real soon. Mackenzie, thank you for coming on. All right, bye guys.